Imagine being told you'll never make it because you dropped out of college, that without a degree, your dreams are worthless. That's exactly what everyone told Alex when he left school, broke and uncertain of his future. While his friends graduated and landed jobs, Alex was working late nights, learning from free online tutorials, and surviving on instant noodles. But what no one saw coming was that this so-called failure would become a self-made millionaire, and later, the mentor who helped thousands rewrite their own success stories. Alex had always been the kind of student teachers praised, sharp, disciplined, and full of potential. He was the first in his family to attend college, a source of pride for his parents who had worked tirelessly to give him opportunities they never had. For them, a degree symbolized security, respect, and a promise of a better life. For Alex, however, it soon began to feel like a trap, a system that rewarded memorization more than creativity, obedience more than vision. At first, he tried to fit in. He studied hard, joined clubs, and even took part in business competitions. But as semesters passed, he began to feel an emptiness grow inside him. The lectures seemed disconnected from the real world. Professors spoke of theories and models, but no one taught how to build something meaningful from scratch. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that he was learning how to work for someone else's dream, not his own. Outside of class, he became fascinated by the online world of entrepreneurship. Late at night, instead of reviewing notes for exams, he watched videos on startups, digital marketing, and passive income. He stumbled upon stories of self-made individuals who had turned their lives around without traditional education. Something inside him sparked, a small, stubborn voice whispering that there was another way. But that voice came at a cost. His grades began to slip, his attendance dropped, and his professors took notice. One day, after failing an important exam, his advisor called him into the office. "You're wasting your potential," the advisor said coldly. "Without a degree, you'll struggle for the rest of your life." The words cut deep. Alex didn't respond, but inside, he made a silent promise, not to prove the professor wrong, but to prove to himself that success had more than one path. Within weeks, the pressure reached its peak. His parents were disappointed, his friends moved ahead, and he felt increasingly out of place. After long nights of anxiety and self-doubt, Alex made the hardest decision of his life. He dropped out. The day he packed his few belongings and left the campus dorm, he felt both terrified and strangely free. He had no clear plan, no safety net, and no guarantee of success, just a burning desire to build something that mattered. His friends called it reckless. His family called it foolish. But Alex called it a beginning. What he didn't realize then was that this leap into uncertainty, this fall, would become the foundation of everything that would follow. Because sometimes, you have to lose the path everyone expects you to take to discover the one you were meant to build yourself. The first few months after dropping out were nothing like the freedom Alex had imagined. Reality hit hard. Without a degree or experience, getting a decent job was nearly impossible. He applied everywhere, coffee shops, delivery jobs, small startups, but the rejections piled up. Overqualified for some roles, underqualified for others, he found himself stuck in limbo. Rent was due, bills stacked up, and his savings evaporated within weeks. There were nights when he couldn't afford proper meals and survived on instant noodles or skipped dinner entirely. He worked odd freelance gigs online, writing small articles, doing basic graphic design, even data entry, anything that could keep the lights on. The money wasn't much, but it gave him something far more valuable: perspective. During one of those sleepless nights, hunched over his secondhand laptop, Alex stumbled upon a free online course about digital marketing. The lessons were simple at first, but they lit a spark. He realized that businesses everywhere were trying to grow online, and most had no idea how. That insight changed everything. He began to devour every free resource he could find: YouTube tutorials, blogs, podcasts, and ebooks. He studied copywriting, branding, SEO, and social media algorithms until his eyes burned. Every night, he practiced what he learned by creating fake brands and marketing plans. It wasn't glamorous, but it was progress. Still, doubt haunted him. There were days he'd scroll through social media, watching old classmates celebrate job offers, promotions, and graduation ceremonies. They looked happy and stable, everything he wasn't. Sometimes, he'd question if he'd made a huge mistake. Was this struggle worth it? Was his dream realistic? or just ego disguised as ambition. But every time the doubt crept in, he reminded himself why he started. He wanted to create something of his own, something no one could take away. He wasn't looking for comfort anymore. He was chasing purpose. After months of relentless self-learning, Alex finally got his first real opportunity. A small local business posted online that they needed help promoting their cafe. He reached out with a confident, well-written message offering to handle their social media for free. The owner hesitated but agreed to give him a trial month. That month, Alex poured everything he had into the project. He created engaging posts, designed promotions, and analyzed customer feedback. Within a few weeks, the cafe's followers grew rapidly, and their weekend sales nearly doubled. The owner was thrilled and insisted on paying him. It wasn't much, but to Alex, it felt like a fortune. It wasn't just about the money, it was validation. Proof that his skills, though self-taught, had real-world value. From that moment, Alex realized he didn't need permission to succeed. He didn't need a degree, connections, or luck. Just persistence, curiosity, and the willingness to keep learning when everyone else stopped. Little did he know, that single cafe project would become the spark that ignited his first business. The success with the cafe gave Alex something he hadn't felt in months: confidence. For the first time since dropping out, he could see the results of his work transforming someone else's life. Word began to spread. The cafe owner told other local businesses about the young guy who made our sales explode through Instagram. Soon, Alex started getting messages from small shops, fitness trainers, and even an online boutique, all asking if he could help them too. At first, Alex charged very little. He was just grateful to have clients. But as his results improved and his workload grew, he began to realize his time had value. He started setting rates, creating packages, and presenting himself as a professional. Bit by bit, what began as a desperate hustle was turning into a real business. He named his freelance brand VisionCraft Digital, a reflection of his belief that creativity and strategy could craft anyone's vision into reality. To build credibility, he designed a simple website, showcased before and after results, and shared his journey online. His authenticity attracted attention, not because he was perfect, but because he was honest about his struggle. But success didn't come without friction. Managing multiple clients, learning accounting, and dealing with demanding personalities tested his patience and discipline. There were nights when he wanted to quit, especially when clients delayed payments or ghosted him after receiving work. Yet, each setback became a lesson. He learned to communicate clearly, set boundaries, and negotiate with confidence. He began to see patterns. Businesses didn't just need marketing. They needed guidance, direction, and someone who could translate ideas into action. Slowly, Alex shifted from being just a freelancer to becoming a strategic consultant. Then came a breakthrough moment. One of his clients, a small e-commerce brand selling handmade jewelry, suddenly went viral after Alex ran a clever ad campaign. The brand's sales skyrocketed, and within months, they were featured in a major lifestyle magazine. When the founder publicly credited Alex for their success, inquiries poured in faster than he could handle. That's when he realized this was bigger than him. He hired his first assistant, then a part-time designer, and finally a small remote team. VisionCraft Digital was no longer a one-man operation. They began working with clients across the country, helping small businesses grow through online storytelling and data-driven marketing. For the first time in his life, Alex was earning more money than most of his college friends, the same ones who once pitted him for throwing his future away. But instead of feeling vindicated, he felt humbled. He had proven that education doesn't end in a classroom. It begins when you take ownership of your growth. Still, deep inside, he knew this was just the beginning. Success had opened doors, but it also revealed a new challenge: staying true to his purpose while scaling to new heights. Within 2 years, VisionCraft Digital had become a name known far beyond Alex's small city. His agency was now serving international clients, generating 6 figures in annual revenue and running multiple high-profile campaigns. His team had grown to 10 people, all working remotely from different parts of the world. On paper, Alex had achieved everything he once dreamed of: financial stability, recognition, and a sense of control over his destiny. But inside, something didn't feel right. The long nights, endless meetings, and constant deadlines began to drain him. He was no longer designing campaigns out of creativity and excitement. He was doing it out of obligation. His phone buzzed constantly with client messages, invoices, and notifications. He had built a machine that was running nonstop, but somewhere in the process, he had lost touch with why he started. He often found himself staring at his laptop late at night, surrounded by empty coffee cups, wondering, is this what success is supposed to feel like? Despite the numbers in his bank account, he felt disconnected from his team, from his purpose, and most painfully, from himself. His health began to decline. Meals became rushed, workouts non-existent, and sleep a luxury. Friends invited him out, but he was always too busy. Even when he wasn't working, his mind never stopped racing. The burnout hit one morning when Alex missed a crucial client presentation because he had fallen asleep at his desk. When he finally woke up, his inbox was flooded with disappointed messages. That moment shattered him, not because of the lost client, but because he realized he had become exactly what he once ran from: someone chasing success without balance. He took a step back. For the first time in years, Alex booked a weekend trip alone. No laptop, no team calls, no agenda. Sitting by the ocean, he reflected on everything that had happened since the day he left college. He remembered the fear, the failure, the first small wins, and the joy of helping others grow. Somewhere along the way, that joy had been replaced by pressure. He realized he had been measuring success only in money and milestones, not in meaning. That weekend changed everything. Alex returned home with clarity. He didn't just want to build businesses. He wanted to build people. The ones who, like him, were lost, uncertain, and afraid to take the first step toward their dreams. He decided to pivot VisionCraft's focus from marketing alone to mentorship and education, helping other young dreamers build sustainable online careers. His next goal wasn't just to make profits, but to make impact. The fire that once burned out was rekindled, not by ambition, but by purpose. Alex was ready to enter the next chapter of his life, turning personal success into a legacy of empowerment. The shift from running a marketing agency to mentoring others didn't happen overnight. It required courage, the same kind of courage that pushed Alex to drop out of college years earlier. He began small. Alex started sharing short videos online about freelancing, digital marketing, and personal growth. Honest, unfiltered advice drawn from his own experiences. He didn't sugarcoat his failures or pretend to have all the answers. Instead, he spoke about the process, the late nights, the doubts, and the mistakes that shaped his success. People resonated with his message. His authenticity cut through the noise of get-rich-quick promises flooding the internet. Within months, thousands began following his journey. Many reached out to say his story had given them the confidence to take their first step, to launch a business, leave a toxic job, or pursue a creative dream. Encouraged, Alex launched his first online mentorship program, designed for college dropouts, struggling freelancers, and aspiring entrepreneurs. What began as a small coaching group quickly evolved into a thriving community of learners from all over the world. Through weekly sessions, he taught not only business strategies, but also the mindset behind success: discipline, resilience, and self-belief. He emphasized that financial success without personal growth is hollow, and true wealth lies in the freedom to live life with purpose and integrity. Alex's story soon gained attention beyond his community. Podcasts, news platforms, and business conferences began inviting him to share his journey. He spoke passionately about failure as a teacher, about the importance of self-awareness, and about the courage to take unconventional paths. His transparency made him relatable, a mentor who had walked the same road his audience was on. Over time, Alex's brand evolved into something far greater than a business. He founded the Vision Movement, an educational platform dedicated to empowering young people to create careers rooted in passion and purpose. It became a safe space for dreamers who felt lost in traditional systems, a place to learn, grow, and connect. One evening, years after his first video went viral, Alex revisited the small apartment where it had all started, the same one where he once questioned every decision. Standing there, he felt a wave of gratitude. The struggle, the sleepless nights, the failures, they had all led him here. He realized success isn't about escaping failure. It's about transforming it. The power of his story wasn't that he became a millionaire, but that he turned pain into purpose and success in his service. As he looked out the window, he thought of the people who had once doubted him, the professors who told him he'd never make it, and the scared, uncertain version of himself who dropped out with nothing but a dream. He smiled, not out of pride, but peace. Because Alex had learned that true success isn't measured by what you achieve alone, but by how many lives you help transform along the way. If Alex's journey inspired you to chase your dreams, no matter where you're starting from, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. Flex biceps. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's your dream, and what's holding you back from starting today? Glowing star. And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications bell so you never miss another real-life story of struggle, success, and transformation.